the heat is coming, please, I'm coming. I need water, and the phone dropped. We have checked the whole list in the armory over there. She's not on the dead list. She's not on the list on the hospital, so we are hoping for the best. Maybe she's in the hospital, she cannot talk, or maybe, but we hope with this picture, they'll be able to locate her in the hospital and contact us. The numbers are listed below for anybody to contact us, the hospital officials, the police, anybody.
You're here with so many families who are also looking for people. Have people banded together? Have they helped one another?
Yes, that's what we have been trying to do. We've been calling each other. We've been trying to hug ourselves together, pending until her return. Or
do you still now, more than 2 days later, almost 3 days later, have hope?
Well, we still have hope because her name is not on the dead list. So we think maybe she's in the hospital. Or
she cannot speak. Maybe she's not been recognized. No
maybe.
ID.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk to. We're all friends. We're all together. Let's talk to this gentleman here who is looking for Shabbir Ahmed. Tell me about the last time someone heard from him.
He's my uncle. Last time he left like Tuesday morning about approximation 5:30 in the morning. He was scheduled to work for Windows on the World. He works for the banquet department, so he was working when the crash took place. So since then we haven't heard from him, nothing yet. So we are expecting to hear something good that I could at least today take a news to the family of his. He left like his 2 daughters and 1 son, and other family members all are in a shocked situation and all feeling and waiting for him. That's what I have to say to you right this moment. I spent whole day here looking for any clues if they found his name or any kind of information.
Have you found any clues?
Unfortunately not. So I have to come back. I think I have to make trips back and forth here. I will do it because he's my uncle, so he was the great person. And what can I say? I'm missing him. We're all going to be missing him as well as other good people, the victims. And that's all I should say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And sir, you are also looking for a loved one. Can you tell me?
I'm looking for all the members of Windows on the World, floor 107, because we have nothing on them. We have no data, because everything is gone, all the punch in and out. So we want them to call this number, the union number, so we will know who's missing, who's not. And about Shabbir Ahmed, the gentleman who just said, he was in the first bombing, and he made it out, but he couldn't make it this time.
So some of the people, you work for a union?
Yes.
And so some of the people who were in your union were in that building and made it out in 93?
Yes. And one of them is Shabbir. But this time he could not made it. But please, everybody who knows anybody about Windows on the World employees, call the number, call the union. And we're going to have a big meeting on Tuesday, next Tuesday, at the union office. And anybody who can attend, all the families, it's a very important meeting.
Has anyone made it out from your union, from this group of workers for Windows on the World? It's the restaurant at the top of the World Trade Tower, for people who don't know it.
Unfortunately not. Nobody made it. Not nobody that we know made it. We hope that they made it, but we didn't hear from nobody yet.
And how many people in this union?
Well, we are 450 employees, but we have shifts. It's not everybody who was there. But we are at least 450 employees there.
And how many were there at the time of the explosion?
We don't know, but the list I have, it's like 88, between 80 and 88 people missing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's also talk to this woman here. You were looking for Margaret Acraman.
My sister, yeah.
Tell me about Margaret.
Margaret's 33 years old. She worked for Regis. She was on the 93rd floor of the 2nd Trade Center. We talked to her last after the first crash, and she called everyone to tell everybody that she was okay. And so we haven't heard anything since then, but we know she's there. So we're just, getting her face out there so everyone can find her. And we covered all the hospitals and have on the missing persons. And everyone's here to support us, so it's great. So you just have to find her. We know we will.
So tell me, you've spent 2 days, you're going to the hospitals, public offices also. Were you at the Armory today? Were you in there?
Yeah, we've been there as well. We've registered her, and we're going to get back online to see if they've got any updates. They keep updating the list, so, we just keep getting back over there, but we've been traveling around. We've been getting a lot of calls from people that have, seen her on the different sites that we've posted her on, just to try to see whatever they could do to help out. So people are really, really being incredible.
Do you have any clues at all?
No clues, no. So we've been hearing lots of good stories about people making it off of really high floors. So we just know that she's one of them, and we just have to figure out where she is. So
Tell me about her. She's very beautiful, I can tell from the picture, but tell me more about her.
Yeah, she was running. She was get ready to run for the marathon, so she was training with a lot of her friends, and she's an incredibly strong person. So she's got a sense of life in her that's just so strong that anybody, we pray for everybody to find their way out of there, but we want. So yeah. So she just has everybody supporting her, and she's a kind, generous person. So she's the type of person that would, make sure that everybody got off the floor with her and helping them out.
Tell me about, have people banded together? Obviously, there are hundreds of families here.
Oh yeah, people have been so incredible. My friend Ted's come down from Boston, and my brother's coming up from Florida, and we have people all over the country, in Germany and London and Italy. Everybody's looking for her, so they're all searching the websites, and people are collecting photos of other friends, and here, so that they're all trying to contribute and help. So it's just been phenomenal. I mean, the amount of support that we're getting, and it's just, like I said, it's great. It's really great.
Thank you. This woman who is looking for her sister, Margaret Acraman. Thank you. And you are looking here also for a loved one?
This is my brother-in-law. His name is Caro Carrara. Karamo, Trera, Trerra. And fortunately for my sister, he was in the second building on the 97th floor working for Fiduciary Trust. And fortunately, he called my sister right beforehand, and before the second airplane hit, and told her that, number one, they weren't evacuating anymore, and also that he loved her. So we're just happy that they got a chance to say goodbye to each other, and we're happy. I mean, that's the one important thing, and it's her 4-year wedding anniversary. Yesterday we spent the day on the web posting his picture everywhere, going to every single hospital. If anybody's seen him, please, because yesterday was their wedding anniversary, and we'd just like a resolution to this. And we really want justice done, because this is a horrible tragedy. And I mean, I'm donating a stapler in there, and it's like ridiculous. I'm donating a stapler, and there are hundreds and hundreds of people who are in so much pain right now, and it hurts me to see my sister in so much pain over Karamo Trera. It's very hard.
It's interesting. I've heard from many people with relatives in the second tower that they called after the first explosion and said, we're not leaving. It sounds like that's what happened.
There were 2 phone calls. The first phone call that he made to her was that they are evacuating, and we were all very happy because we were all kind of on the phone, my whole family and my sister. We were all like, oh my God, what happened? Because I work downtown. And then they said they were evacuating. We were all happy. Go, 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 said my sister, go. And then he called again and said, oh, you know what, everything's fine, don't worry. He was trying to calm her down. Stay calm, I love you so much. Don't worry about me, I'll be okay. And then they hung up, and then as soon as about 50 seconds later, the other airplane hit. We saw it on the news.
That must have been, so you were sitting with your sister as the second airplane hit.
Well, basically, I was downtown on Church, and I saw the whole thing happen. So when I saw that second tower get struck, I ran back inside, and I called her on the phone, and I said, call him, call him, call him. And it was too late. So if anybody has any information, about Caro Carrara. Please, it is so painful for us. Please call 212-865-3365. Please, if anybody saw him either in his last moments or if they know that he's alive, we're desperate. Everyone's desperate for information. Thank you so much.
I know that families today have been at the Armory, they've been at hospitals. Tell me, for the past 2 days, where have you been? What have you done?
We've been to every single hospital. We've been to Beekman, Cabrini, St. Vincent's, and like 10 other hospitals. We were going to go to New Jersey, but we couldn't. And we also just did the Armory.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Good
so
luck.
much.
Good luck to you. We're now going to go back to you in Atlanta.
Thank you, Elizabeth Cohen in New York. Horrible stories, hundreds more in New York, and there are hundreds more here in Washington from the terrorism at the Pentagon, which is about 2 miles behind me. But we're going to turn back to the investigation. Osama bin Laden may end up the target of U.S. fury, but that doesn't mean he'll be an easy target. Let's go live now to CNN national security correspondent David Ensor here in Washington. David, what's the status of the investigation?
Well, the status of the investigation is still that the evidence is pointing heavily to Osama bin Laden's organization, but the Bush administration does not have the kind of evidence it's ready to say proves that that's who did this. They're not ready to make a final decision at this point. But already they and a lot of people outside are starting to think about what's the next step. How do you go after bin Laden and his organization if you do decide that he is guilty of these terrible attacks? It is not going to be easy. And a number of officials, senators like Senator McCain and others, have said that likely you would have to use ground troops, that bombs might not do it this time. They didn't do it in '98. They might not work this time either. So there are concerns about that. There's also a sense, though, that the U.S., after the losses it suffered, many people in the United States would support a decision, even if it costs some blood, to resolve this matter and end the danger of terrorism. But would it end the danger of terrorism? A number of experts argue that it would take more than troops, that it would involve an occupation of a long-term type that could be fraught with all sorts of problems. So nobody's ready to say where the administration's going yet. Outside experts say that the choices are not going to be easy ones. Greta?
All right, thank you, David Ensor. With Osama bin Laden believed to be in Afghanistan and a potential target, how are people there handling the situation? Our Nick Robertson is in Kabul, Afghanistan, and joins us by video phone. Nick?
Well, Greta, certainly the Taliban leadership growing increasingly concerned about what may happen next, issuing another statement only a few hours ago, again trying to distance Osama bin Laden from what happened on Tuesday in the United States. They said in this statement, how could Osama bin Laden have been involved in that? They said, how could he have trained pilots? Where could he have trained pilots? They said it was impossible to imagine that he had, therefore proving he wasn't involved. They said that they wanted everyone who was working on this, on the investigation, to think carefully about how they proceed next. And certainly on the streets in Kabul, growing apprehension also about what may come next. The streets a little quieter Thursday. It's Friday morning here now. Today, traditionally a day of rest, a day of prayer, but very quiet on the streets. Many people staying at home. Few people, however, we're aware of at this time leaving the city. After 20 years of civil war, many people here are very, very poor, and we talked to some of them yesterday. They told us, we're concerned about what's happening, we're worried about it, but we're too poor. Our main concerns are really just getting food for the coming evening. So apprehension here, but a lot of people really not knowing what to do next. A lot of common people really just sitting tight and waiting to see what happens, Greta.
All right, Nick, thanks for joining us from Afghanistan. We're going to go back to New York to Elizabeth Cohen, who's standing by with the governor of New York. Elizabeth?
Here we come.
We're here on the corner of 26th and Lexington with Governor George Pataki. Just saw him hugging people who are looking for their family members, tears in his eyes. Tell me, what has it been like for you?
It's not what it's been like for me. It's for the people who are suffering. You know, all America grieves, but those who've lost a wife or a child, their pain is even greater than ours. So we have to stand with them. We have to stand with the brave firefighters, the Port Authority teams down right now. They lost their top management. They lost dozens of their police, but they're out there. We have to stand with them. They're the ones who are going to bring us through this.
What can you say